What's up, everybody? It's your girl Ericka from the Classic Climb blog. You see the title. Y'all not gonna like me today. I'm just gonna go there early. Feeling stuck, don't know when to move on. Reaction to Dr. Umar versus Tom Joyner, right? And you're gonna say, wait a minute, I didn't know Dr. Umar and Tom Joyner. They didn't. I'm just gonna give you clear contrast. Yesterday, Diamond Dave did a great video on you know, Dr. Umar and his many flaws that many other people have done, in some shape or format. Now, here's the problem in our community, in our society. I have to just go there. Most Black people sound like this. And you'd be like, what? What? Now, again, y'all already offended the first minute in, and I'm okay with that. What I'm referring to is the mumble rappers, to lack of clear communication. A lot of times you talk to younger kids, they grumble and they can't even open their mouth to fully speak. Okay. And so in our community, the gift of gab has always led kids to be what? Preachers. You ought to be a lawyer, young brother. You ought to be a this. It's never, man, you should be a doctor. Man, you should be. I had bad handwriting, and I had a Black teacher in the second grade, and she said, "Boy, you ought to be a doctor, girl. With this bad handwriting." I didn't understand she was trying to get me to write more, write better. But in my head, I'm like, well, damn, doctors have bad handwriting. Like, again, the level of communication skills, not just, I mean, again, if you think of King of the Hill, where Boomer talks like boom, 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 that is how some white people sound too. Let's not get it twisted. But there's a significant group of Black people speaking in slang, speaking in half sentences. You guys are real hard on me, and I have a speech impediment. You know what I'm saying? And so when I misspell words or I say something right, you didn't say it right. And so, but what's funny about that is compared to most of my equal level people my age, I'm the clearest person in the room. I'm sitting here. I mean, there's young men, I talk to them, they can barely open their mouth to speak. I get on phone calls with people, I'm like, oh my God, this poor baby's retarded. And they don't be. They just, no one's ever encouraged them to speak up, speak loudly. I had a speech impediment in school, had a speech therapy teacher. It did wonders, as you can see, right? I'm very talkative, right? Right. And so I couldn't imagine living in a world where I cannot clearly articulate myself. And then most of the time, if I'm sitting here minding my business, somebody thinks you're angry. That happens to a lot of people. And so as I listen to people go, why do y'all listen to Dr. Umar? Easy. Majority of Black people at a certain age group sound like mush mouths. So when you have somebody who's clear, can clearly speak, they have a gift from God. I really do believe it's a gift from God. They're just misusing it. It's like, yeah, he's saying what I want to say clearly and concisely. Yeah. So when Dr. Umar raised all this money, and I tell y'all this every time, I know y'all get mad at me. I'm okay with Dr. Umar getting that money because it's the speaking is what we're wanting. That's what y'all want. Y'all want him to talk about the Black boy struggle and the schools are against the Black. No, listen, again, we hear this stuff all the time. And when we tell y'all the best thing for children is a 2-parent home where y'all married and daddy lives in the home every single day, every single study in the world concludes that. And then we get sister talking about, well, he boring. Girl, that's what you need. A boring, consistent daddy. That's what you need. Boring. That's what you need. And so, unfortunately, in our community, if you notice, the guys who have the gift of gab have beautiful lives. They usually have many choices of women, all kind of stuff going well for them because they know how to speak. Simple as that. You sound like a caveman walking around, grunting. No one has time for that. They just don't. Now, you see the title, the reaction of Dr. Umar versus Tom Joyner. I've told y'all for years, if people can't show you something they're working on, I don't want to hear it. Even so, I challenge myself to it. So this next coming weeks, y'all have to vote. I'm gonna put a vote in the community page. But essentially, I have a project close, real estate project. I have a young person who just graduated college right here at University of Texas. They are going to be doing work with me in an internship position. They're going to learn on building from the ground up. I'm going to show them all this, and they're going to do this, and they speak Spanish, and it's going to be an internship. It's a barter for barter. But I wouldn't have access to this young person's mind and their degree title for what is very useful for me unless I had something to give them, something for them to do. So in a way, they are right. A lot of black men want to run their mouth all day and tell young people what they need to be doing. You look at his life, he ain't living with his children. He not married to no woman, and he not ruling over his own house. So how can he tell you anything? And if you need money, he can't give it to you. I know y'all are like, man, Erica's an asshole. That's cool. I'm okay with that. I had uncles who my first job, and I tell y'all, this changed my life. My uncle came back from Kosovo, okay, and he had bought a book. It was like a warehouse book, and he was flipping through these pages, and half the stuff was in Chinese. And I'm like, what is this? He's like, I'm gonna make my own dollar store. He bought all this stuff. It came overseas in big old boxes, containers, and he opened up his own original dollar store. And I worked for him. That was my first job as a 14-year-old. And in that moment, I was like, my life has changed. I can do anything. I can build anything. I can create anything. And so I fear for kids who had to like go knock on doors, fill out applications, and they couldn't even get their first job 14, 15, 16 years old with any kind of guidance because nobody in their family is doing anything. So when they say, well, why you knocking on black men? If you were doing something, your little cousins and nieces and nephews would be calling you. That's why if you got a nurse in the family, everybody be calling them. You got a truck driver in the family, young men be calling them. Hey, what do you think about this, young? Again, you got to be doing something. We got a lot of people in our community. Well, I talk real well. That's cool, brother. But what are you doing? Are you building anything? I've told y'all this a million times. If Dr. Umar tomorrow opens up a daycare and he only got 30 kids in that bad boy, that's it, right? A daycare at a house, country, ghetto, he would raise millions of dollars the very next day because black people are like, see, I knew he was going to do it. I knew he could do it. You know why? Because y'all sit in these little community churches where y'all got a building fund on the wall that the building never gets built. Knowing daggone well, we should have a community full of older black men that know how to fix and build things so y'all could build the building from scratch if you wanted to. But again, that's not never been really the goal. Y'all don't really want to do anything. You want to talk about it. Now, why am I going to talk about Tom Joyner as the comparison of this? And again, don't come at me. I would love to interview Dr. Claude Anderson. I understand the contract they have with Boyce Watkins. I get all that, but he's starting to fall in that same category because there's never been a time on this earth an academic has solved something. It's doers that solve things. Academics review the history of what the doers did, right? That's why we can study trickle down economics years later because a bunch of people sat back and watched. Oh, this would happen. Notes. Let me write this down. Now, I'm not anti-intellectualism. I'm very much a deep reader. I'm very much, well, if I could go get my doctorate in a lot of things, I would go do it. But my biggest thing is it's the doers that change this world. Now, prime example, I used to tell y'all this, and I know y'all gonna get offended again. I don't particularly like Steve Harvey or Ricky Smalley on the radio every morning. I find them to be goofy. I find them to be ridiculous. I find it to be coonery. It's the way y'all mad at Tyler Perry about these movies. That's how I be about them on the radio. Because when I was getting a ride every morning to my private school, yes, in North Carolina, I had an older aunt who was the person who could drive me. Right, she could just she was on her way to work, she'd just drive me because the private school was way out of our neighborhood. And I would go, and every morning I'd hear, by Friday we have the Black History Fact, and then every month, because this went on for a year. My mom was in the military. Um, and so I would hear a Black History Month flash, like, oh my God, I never knew that. And then I would hear him every month pick a historically Black college. There's only 108 historical Black colleges, not many. So it's like rotation. And he would say, y'all, let's just donate $5. Let's just donate $10. Let's just donate $100. Let's make a difference for these kids. Now, most Black people were starting to get on the train of like, college ain't good for Black people. Ugh. But they never had any alternative for the Black kids to go. They didn't say go to military. They didn't say go to trade school. They didn't say go to community college. They just said college is a scam, right? We had a whole generation of Black people, Gen X, I blame you, and late millennials, I blame ourselves, for this kind of movement of, But Tom Joyner on the radio talking to working class Black people was able to do $69 million. Let me go ahead and show y'all that real quick. Because I was very upset when they took them off the radio and started switching more and more this goofy, this goofiness. I just didn't understand. I'm like, why are we supporting this extra goofy stuff? This don't make no sense to me. But that's where a significant portion of Gen X wanted. Gen X wanted goofy, strawberry letter, goofy time. They didn't want Tom Joyner educational playing older music. The change of the guard had happened, right? And I had just been a kid riding the car, right? If that makes sense. So this is the impact of the Tom Joyner Foundation. And I'm gonna address some of the comments y'all had in the community section. It's that hater black man kind of thing y'all got going on. Well, he flew on a plane every day and did 2 radio shows. What's hard working about that, Ericka? Again, that's somebody who's a loser. They don't do hard work. They ain't out nowhere building houses. They ain't plumbing. They ain't a construction person outside in the heat of the summer, but they talking about Tom Joyner ain't working hard. Boy, I can't with y'all Negroes. So again, Tom Joyner Foundation impact. Since its inception, oh God, I can't even speak today. The foundation has provided support for more than to every 4-year HBCU to help sustain and preserve the legacy of these valuable institutions. Through fundraising, corporate partnerships, and donor development incentives, they have raised more than $69 million to support 32,000 students attending HBCUs. Additionally, the foundation has recommended internships, matching grant support, and career development to deserving students. Now, if you came to me and said, Ricky Smiley does this and Steve Harvey does that. Nah, man, nobody did it like Tom Joyner. They may do bits and pieces, but it's not the focal point of their career. The focal point of Tom Joyner was like, I want to make sure these kids graduate and don't have a ton of debt. Negro College Fund. I worked in the financial aid office at East Carolina. I saw what happened to people. They didn't have, their parents weren't prepared to send them anywhere. They never had even thought about what they're supposed to do. So they sent them off. They don't have enough money. The kids end up having to either drop out or do part-time, or it takes them 6, 7, 8, 9 years to finish a degree. I know people said it took them 12 years to finish. So you have someone's whole life tangled up for 12 years in trying to get this one little process done because their parents were not prepared. And so when I am torn, I love Diamond Dave's commentary. It was great. I loved the whole thing. I watched the whole thing almost. I was driving on the highway coming back from one of the duplex construction sites. And I was like, this is the problem though. We don't have a cultural system where we tell people it's time to move forward, right? If you're in other cultures, Jewish, you have the bar mitzvah. If you're in Hawaiian culture, they have something. I forgot what it's called. Native American culture, they have something. In parts of Asian culture, they have things. And what happens is, even in Russia, the gypsies, all of them, you keep going. There's a lot of people. They have a cultural system, like flag, like, hey, it's time. It's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to move forward. It's time for you to do the next thing. It's time for you to let go of that mentality. And we don't have that in our community. Not in America. In Africa, sure. Lots of African groups have different ceremonies, different things they participate in that tell them, hey, you're an adult now. Let's go ahead and let that go, right? So I'm trying to be careful. So you have these people who, let's just be honest, and this is the Tom Joyner Foundation voyage. They'll be selling on the Caribbean. They do this every year, like twice a year. They sold out. They were sold out last year. They're probably going to be sold out this year. Why? Because black people love them cruise boats. Them single aunties going to be out there. They talk a little bit of smart stuff and then they enjoy their time the rest of the time, right? So y'all can look this up for yourselves. Again, fantastic voyage. It's a part of the foundation. Check it out for yourself, right? And the reason I bring this up is what happens is we have all these young people coming online to do a podcast to talk about what their parents did to them and what this person did to them. And let me be very honest. Therapy isn't forever. It's usually they help you get to the conclusion of your problem within a year to 2 years. And you should be moving forward. Anybody who's had therapy or knows a therapist, they tell you it's not for you to be talking to me forever. I'm not your parent. I'm your therapist. I'm just here to help you move to the transition point. Okay, your mom and daddy did you wrong. Oh, okay. This happened to you. Okay. Now it's time to what? Transition. You got people on this YouTube who are in their 50s talking about prom. They didn't get to choose the girl they wanted in prom. What does that have to do with your 55-year-old life? Nothing. You need to figure out why you still live in Philly and you live in bad in your 50s. That's your number one concern. You got people on this internet talking about single moms and the destruction of the community, and they are married men with their own kids on down the road. Sir, you need to go pick up a new mantle and move forward because you're stuck in the past. See, living stuck in the past usually creates a sea of depression and hopelessness. They do lots of studies on this stuff, lots of studies. And so we don't have a check off point to tell people, hey, man, you're in your 40s. It's time. Go ahead and do something different, baby. It's okay. And so what happens is we have people replaying their 20s. Well, it took me 10 years to finish my college degree. So I just really didn't even get to enjoy my time in college. So now they're going to extend the goofy Peter Pan and little girls too, women too. I'm going to extend the goofy years to my 40s till they run to the end of seasons of life. Now, what does seasons of life mean? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. People in their 40s and 50s talking about having their first baby. It happens, but it shouldn't be the go-to, right? You got grown men talking about, I'm gonna get me a wife in her 20s and I'm 55. Y'all, I've seen those couples. They be stressed as hell because she's 10 years behind mentally. The body looks great, sure, no problem. The man always talking about how she's stressing him out. And you be like, well, you chose her. You knew what choosing a younger person would be and having kids with a younger person. Duh. Like you're starting that process over that's reserved for people with more energy than you. And again, people tell me, I'm 55 and I'm in the best shape of my life and I ride bicycles. Cool, man, cool. Save that drama for somebody else who believes it, not me. Okay. And so because we don't have a society or a community that says, hey, those are toys, put those toys away. Let's go produce to the next level. I remember riding an Uber car with this black guy, young black guy, but maybe 30s. And he was a group of women had walked across the street. They was in what do you call them? Yoga pants. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, we're waiting for them to pass so we can get to the airport. And he's like, yeah, these women out here dressing inappropriately. They got these tight pants on. So I was looking at him and he's like, as a married man, I really want to tell them about themselves, but I don't. And I was sitting here like, you're an Uber driver. You're married. And you worried about women in yoga pants. Sir, you have other battles to fight. This ain't your battle. Brother, you married now. You just need to worry about what your wife wearing. Focus on that battle. See, but we don't have a culture that says, hey, and for a minute I thought he was Muslim, so I was just trying to be quiet and be respectful. But then I realized this Negro just a regular old Uber driving black man wanting to talk bad about ladies in yoga pants. I was like, sir, listen, that's just not your fight right now. You have to pour into the community where you at. And he looked back at me like, bitch. And I just laughed because I'm like, this is the problem in our community. Nobody wants to handle the solution, right? I don't know if you guys have ever watched the HBO special. And again, prepare yourself mentally. There's an HBO special on that Chernobyl. And it was like, damn, Russia is those people. Right now, Russia has extremely terrible birth rates right now and a lot of other issues going on. But Russia literally looked at each other in a room. All the leaders was like, look, I don't know if it's going to take 10,000 people. I don't know if it's going to take 20,000 people or 50,000 people, but we will not let this thing kill the world is the best way I can say this. And so during Chernobyl, the military leaders of Russia were like, yo, hey, do we tell the people that they're sacrificing themselves? Ultimately, like they being in this area is full of radiation. And it was like, we don't tell them nothing. They got to step up. It's no choice. And so, they telling the first set of men, yeah, y'all got to do this thing. You just got to do it. And the engineers were like doing the math, like, wait a minute, we're going to die. Wait, what do you mean we going to die? Yeah, man, you going, yeah, that's what's up. You about to die. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but the radiation, maybe in 10 years. Even in the movie, as we're watching it, the guys were over there for a couple of days and this guy started pulling at his hair. His hair was coming out in his hand. He was like, oh, damn. Oh, it's for real. Like, this is for real. We got to do this. And so the Russian people, because they were under communism, because it's kind of a cultural thing, like you got to have sacrifice. Somebody's got to sacrifice. They put, the number is untold at this point because Russia ain't never going to tell you how many people, but it's close to 30,000 people was over there touching, moving, trying to block off this thing with this concrete and do all this stuff. And it's like they were willing to sacrifice. There is no other country like that in this whole world. There just isn't, right? And you could say it's the Russian pride, it's the toughness, it's just who they are as a people. But this is a conversation nobody wants to have. If a bomb has gone off in your community, we are sacrificing some people to prevent the spread of this bomb spreading. Right. And again, I may lose some of y'all in this metaphor, and I get it. And I'm okay with that. There's 250 people here. Hit the like button. What I'm trying to get you to say is, one, watch that special. It'll blow your mind. You're like, oh my God. Two, uh, we have a society where nobody sacrifices. Right? Then they're talking about birth rates being low. Why are the birth rates so low? Because people really talk about sacrificing their time. Oh my God, my time. You not doing nothing anyway, baby, but watching Netflix. What are you talking about? But see, the difference is a kid is something they can't get out of. Being a full-time parent is something that you can't just, oh, I'm out here. I don't want to do this today. I'm out, girl. No, it's a full-time sacrifice. It's a it. And so what makes people angry is when we tell, and again, this is where I'm on the side of Diamond Dave and some people, hey, productive person, productive man, productive woman, come over here and help with these badass kids that we have made that we didn't want to be bothered with, but because you hear, you can help us. You know what I'm saying? This is where that whole conversation of it takes a village, Ericka. It takes a village. But that's the problem. Y'all don't want to hear from the village. Well, you ain't got kids. You can't tell me. Baby, I know what a badass kid is and a frustrated or a kid that just needs a nap is. Y'all don't want to hear from the village, but you want the village to use its time. I knew this years ago when girls in our church group started getting married, and I made it very clear I was not babysitting. Oh, I didn't get phone calls because I wasn't going to come be your village. And then when I need something, you're nowhere to be found. That's not how the village works. If you actually look back in time, historically, most families always had an extra son or extra daughter. Again, Spencers, certified bachelors that never got married, and they just helped the whole family, right? They had a portion, they had a place to be in that equation, right? That's why today when people make fun of rich aunties and uncles, I'm going, that's historically always been the case. There's always a sibling or two that don't have kids and they to the whole family. But see, nobody wants to sacrifice. So that's a whole nother conversation. So again, let me get in here because I have several things. Now, this is Marcus Klein. I never knew who Marcus Klein was till you guys had mentioned him the other day. Now, I knew of an older black man. What's his name? He made a school in Brooklyn. Is it his last name Hope or something like that? He black man, real tall. I think he played basketball. He made a school in Chicago. No, Brooklyn, and he was on Oprah. And then there was another brother who made a school, and he was on Oprah. And it was like, dang, Oprah, thanks for bringing these people out. But see, that's the difference. Tom Joyner and Oprah were in that kind of season of life, that older Black American life, where they were like, hey, let's put some shine with my platform on this Black person actually doing something positive. Okay, right? Listen, here comes Super Sly. Stop it. Cut it out. Thank you for $2 super chat. Tom Joyner gave our parents hedonism crew. OSC Sportsman, thank you for $2 super chat. The culture likes the preacher types that can talk the talk. The old saying is those who can do, those who can't teach. Facts on facts. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Pascal H. You and Diamond Dave dropping gems. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are watching the show. I appreciate it. Okay. And so there's no sacrifice, and the pressure, let's be very clear. This is what makes me mad as a woman, and I'm going to go on my little woman rant. Women in the community are expected. Like, it's, you got to help your mama if she got all these kids. You got to help your sister. You better help your family with all these daggone kids. How dare you think you're not going to help the family with these kids? Now, men in the family essentially go into stunted Peter Pan life forever. They don't got to wash dishes, take out trash, learn to wash their clothes, learn how to feed themselves, make their own food. This is why you have a lot of older Black men in mid-30s who are in horrible health, about to fall over and have a heart attack or stroke. They just drinking Kool-Aid all day and eating takeout every day. Okay? I see it every day. I see it every day. Y'all can't, oh, Ericka, you don't know what I'm talking about. I see this shit every day. I see it every day. Cut it out. And so you have this imbalance in our community where the women are doing a lot of the children focus, a lot of children focus, and the men are just left to kind of frolic. Why? Because there is not a cultural moment to say, and a cultural kind of father figure to say, hey, son, you 25. Wearing, doing the baby boy is not cool. Saggy pants, playing video games all day, no job prospects, no desire to improve your situation in a skills department outside of sports. It does not work. It's time to get on board. It's time to get where you got to go, baby. It's time. We don't have that in our community. So we have this way unbalanced thing going on where we're essentially hardcore pressing the women to go work, go be productive, go do this, go do this, go do this, go do this, go do this. And the men like, well, I just don't know how to do anything because he a man and I just don't know how to raise no man. Like, we have a way off the record. So now these same families come and say, we need men to mentor the men. And the men are like, baby, this is a grown man. This boy's 17 years old. Where were you calling me when he was 5 and 6 and 7 and 8? You should have been calling me then. This boy grown. Ask Tim Jackson. Tim Jackson get calls all the time from moms. Oh, help my son. Where were you at when we had this program for years? You could have brought your son when he was 12 and we could have been talking to him and doing something and progress and projects with him. Now he grown. He's been marinating in the stupid that you've been producing this, because when you raise kids, whether y'all want to hear it or not, you're cultivating an environment. Who do you live around? What do you do all the time? Those kids see everything all day and night, and they will mimic what you say, not do what you say. You know how I know? Every day y'all tell kids, y'all better be reading over there. Do they see you reading? Y'all better be studying and writing them papers. Y'all are expecting these studious, amazing kids, and you are not a studious parent. Get out of here. It's ridiculous. Get out of here. They know what's important to you. Your dad comes home and he watch ESPN all day and night on a loop over and over and over and over and over. He knows that's what's important. Sports is important to dad. I can do that. That's the truth. Y'all look at these kids. They know how to get your attention. Girls dressing, acting provocatively. Again, I can tell you right now, any parent that has daughters and you don't have your daughter in some type of sports or a program or a purpose or a mission, baby, that's trouble. I went to school with those girls who just had nothing to do, nowhere to go, just showing up at school in hoochie daddy shorts and somebody outside picking them up. Mama don't know who picking them up. Daddy don't know who picking them up. They just like, what? I can't believe this. There's no programming. There's no plan for the kid. We see this stuff play out and we know it. So now there's this outcry, please mentor my son or daughter. But mentorship is something the person chooses. They're not your parent. They choose you because you have characteristics that can be developed. The young person that's reaching out to me right now, they reached out to me because we're in a builders group out of Arizona. And he went to an event and saw me in the list of people inside the group. I'm Miss Williams. I'm here in Austin. I just graduated. I want to work with you. I can speak Spanish. I can do this. I can do that. I'm like, whoa, chill out, kid. Cool. Let's do it though. What else can you do? Write a list. Let me see. Because I have something going on. I have a construction site that needs a young person managing it at time to time and visiting it and making sure everybody show up when they need to show up. No problem, kid. Great. Now he ain't a kid, he a grown man. He's 23, 24. But at the end of the day, he knows I need to get where people are doing something. And if you ain't got nothing to offer these kids, because one, you took forever to figure out college, you took forever to figure out adulthood. No one's telling you it's time to move on. By the time you finally get the money, you a 30-something, late 30s, 40-something-year-old person. What do you have to offer these people, these young people, to show them what to do? Right? And I've already lost some of y'all. I already know. I'm offending y'all at the chat, and I'm okay with that. Drop a one in the comments if you like it so far. If you don't, that's okay. Somebody told me to go in for sure. But this is Marcus Klein's website. I watch your show. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Here you go. Best hip hop. Stop it. You guys did, but again, no. John Ditska. Everybody needs to, everybody and their mama need to join Toastmasters, because then you would have feedback. People don't like feedback. Broker than they dead granddaddy. God dog. There is substantial amount of data that Black boys are, of course, listen, No Limit 3 We're not going to do the oppression Olympics. We're not going to do it because I know where that goes. Well, black men have it harder because of the world. Listen, listen, listen. We already know all that. That's an old record we keep playing. It really is. Because anytime y'all go anywhere, y'all can go anywhere in the world you want. You can do anything you want. But if we keep teaching kids that, it's because you're a black man, nobody will give you a chance. I think that's dangerous. That's dangerous. We got black kids out here all over the internet walking into all kind of opportunities, whether it's tech or construction, and they show it on Instagram and people literally line up to boo them. Not other young kids, older black people. Oh, you black people always talking about you flashing, you scammers. That's why they don't want to deal with y'all, because you're stuck in an old way of thinking and you have no solutions. You just keep saying, there's a problem. There's a problem. Look, here's the problem. We know, brother. We know the world is not fair to us. Next. That's this old, we keep going on about it. And I get it. I get it. I get it. We go, but the problem, we know the problem. Damn, if you're over 30 still blaming your parents, you are the problem. You are the problem. You will not, again, this is where we don't have a cultural moment to say, it is time to take extreme ownership. If you are 25 years old on the internet with a podcast talking about modern women, honey, you need to be outside living your damn life. You need to be going out there having hobbies, traveling, doing things, and you need to be looking for people that are in the good. Now, what do I mean? If every day I come online, I talk about black men, black men, black men, all I'm doing is drawing in my subconscious mind unprepared, unqualified, low level thinking, low level vibrational black men. I told y'all I've practiced this many times where I said, I'm going to look for black men in tech. And I'm out, and that's all I kept seeing all day. Black men in tech, black men in tech, black men in tech. Now, granted, I am in Austin, Texas. And granted, you have to actually program your mind for what you're looking for. Right? How did I meet my spouse? I met him at a conference. Why? Because like minds get in the same rooms. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is when we don't program our mind to look for good, we program it to look for bad. This is why I can go on multiple channels all over to YouTube. And guys be like, yeah, marriage is unfair to men. It's bad for men. And you will ask them, are you divorced? No. Do you have kids? No. Are your parents divorced? No. Where are you getting this? Because I'll be watching videos and they say marriage is bad for men. It's bad for men. Sir, you ain't even lived your life. You ain't even gone out this house. Get off this computer. But see, there's nobody to tell you, son, it's time. It's time to move forward. And listen, I'm not leaving the ladies out in this conversation. Let's not get it twisted. We got women out here in their late 30s and 40s out here with less clothes on than 20-somethings. I don't like that either. I'm tired of the twerking. I'm tired of the goofy stuff. I'm tired of people accidentally having babies with somebody. Like, I didn't know he was a homeless employed bum. How, sis? You know everything else. You watch every other thing on TV and you Google everything else. You knew this man was not good quality. But what happened is you said, oh, I would have to change. Or you're playing the same old tapes in your head about how there's no quality men. Well, if you keep playing that tape, that's what you'll keep finding. Now, I'm being funny today, but I went to go get Smoothie King to get my, because I went for a run. It wore me out. And I said, I got to get this Smoothie King. And in the line was a little black boy, clearly fully black. Got the hair peasing up. Little less than 2 years old. Mom over there, she got these tight pants on, booty everywhere. I said, good gracious, the girl got a big old butt. And then here come out the bathroom, this tall white man with glasses. And he's just like, okay, baby, what do you want? I'm just looking like with my nosy ass looking ass, just looking like, oh, sis got her a tall, older tech white man. And she got a little boy, she got a little kid. Damn, these baby mamas be getting all these men. They be getting them. Now, why did I bring that up? One, it was comical. Two, when I saw the man, tall white man at that. When I saw the man, he wasn't like some hip hop black white dude. He wasn't tatted up. He won't like he looked like Howdy Doody with a pair of slacks on and a polo. Just the slack shorts. What do you call those polo? Them little khaki shorts. And I was like, I wonder how they bit. In my head, I'm like, that ain't his kid. That kid little with a pamper on. Boy, get it, girl, get it. And why am I bringing that up? Because at the end of the day, if she was to come online and hear all day long, girl, you single mom, you ain't never getting nothing better. You ain't gonna get nothing but bums. You're gonna get horrible people choices. She would be in that cycle of depression. But no, she's fine. She's clearly fine at this checkout line with this white tech guy paying for the food, paying for the smoothies. And so when they were leaving out the door, the little black boy started cutting up and he picked him up and carried him around the door. And I said, good gracious, another one. She got him. And what happens is when you go outside your actual house and get off this YouTube and actually get in different types of rooms, you see all the scenarios they told you aren't possible are possible. When you actually start going to these conferences, you start going, there's a thing called GoBundance. You basically have to be a millionaire to be a part of GoBundance, but they've kind of loosened the rules. You can just be aspiring, or you're getting close, or you have high economic numbers, or they talk to you to see if you're a good fit. It's called GoBundance, and they just did a mastermind here in Austin. I didn't go to this one. I'll be the one later this year. But if you look at the GoBundance, you would think, oh man, it's just gonna be a bunch of 50-year-old white dudes. I don't really want to join this. Well, then you get in there and you realize it's the rainbow. It's the colors of the rainbow. Why? Because you actually got out your damn house and you actually went and saw other people. See, the problem is here on YouTube, we don't have a moment to encourage people to move forward. Okay, you got the information, you came on YouTube, cool. What are you doing to move forward? They don't got no answer for you because they don't know the next step, right? And so if you stay online long enough, you hear the most horrible life stories, the most horrible scenarios, and yet you oh no, it's terrible outside. But if you actually go outside, you're like, it's fine. Now there's a great comparison of this is the TV show right now called Silo. It's SILO. They got 10,000 people stuck underground because they believe outside is poisonous. And I ain't gonna ruin the show for y'all if you go check it out. It's on Apple TV. And every time somebody's like, I can't take anymore, let me out, they let them out. Well, there's a TV on every floor in the cafeteria. And the camera always shows the same thing. The person goes out the door and they fall down and die. Oh no. Now, there was a power struggle, like the power went out on the show, real brief. And the TV came back on, but it showed like bright green grass and beautiful trees. And then it glitched back to what it was before. Looks like terribleness outside. In the silo, which I know what the way the show's going to go, I'm already knowing. But what I realize is people will sit there in a situation where they know it's time to move. It's like, we got to go do something. We got to go. We got to change. Some movement has to happen, but they won't. They go, but it's bad outside. Have you confirmed that? No. Are you divorced? No. Anybody you know divorced? No. Then you're just repeating these same old Gen X sob stories, boomer sob stories that you heard on the internet. It's not even moving like that outside. It's not. So let me just keep on going because I don't want to lose y'all. But this is Marcus Klein. Let me stay focused here because I got clips to show y'all. But this is his Freedom Home Academy International. Now I already know this brother pro black. He got the daggone Africa in the logo and the ant and the colors, and I'm like, cool, no problem. So I scroll down, talk about what they offer. They offer French, Swahili, Tai Chi, piano, science, biology, basically more in a homeschool environment. Now you can read all this stuff. I ain't gotta wear it out for y'all. Y'all can check it out yourself. They got some good pictures on there. But if somebody say, "Oh, are these schools qualified?" Honey, they teaching. And they got more than one school. See, this is the problem. Y'all don't want to address this part of the equation. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 schools. They have a Freedom Home Academy in Atlanta, Freedom Home Academy in Detroit. I don't know how to say that first name, International Academy. Then they got a Holistic Academy, and then they got a School of Literacy. And you can click on every single one of these links. I'm not even trying to be funny with y'all, but you can click on every single one of these links. Oh, maybe not that one. But you can click on every single one of these links and see something, right? Now, they got syllabus, tuition. The tuition is $7,200 for the year, right? And it can be made monthly installments of $600 a month, right? Again, y'all can check all this stuff out on your own. Don't take my word on it. Check it on your own. So I immediately, after hearing Diamond Day talk about it, I went to go research to do, and I immediately went, what's the donate page? If I can't do nothing but give $10, I'll do that. And they take donation with PayPal or credit card, right? They take it. So Now, why did I bring this up? Why did I bring up Freedom Home Academy and the fees and what they have to offer and how you could, look at the director? It's not to crap on Dr. Umar. That's not by any means. Like, because I know several people who are closely involved with Dr. Umar. And what ended up happening is we realized this man, he only wants to do things one way. If it doesn't go that way, he will not do it. There has been millions of dollars via many business owners to try to save his ideal. Really, I think at this point, just to save face, but he's refused the money and the assistance because, again, when you give people money in huge amounts, it comes with what? Strings, right? It comes with strings. And so I get everybody like, oh, Dr. Umar doesn't. I get it. I get it. I get it. I've listened to a lot of what he says. He's good. He's a great talker. I think he deserves the money he's earned because y'all gave it to him. Whatever. But at the end of the day, there are plenty of people, if we just Google, who are doing the work, who have put in time and money. Again, Dr. Joyner, people say, oh, well, that's ECUs. Who better to give the money to? A kid that's already there in the pipeline, right? A kid that's already like, I want to go to this school, I want to be here. Put the money in the pipeline. Let's keep it simple. A lot of us want to reinvent the wheel. Well, I'm just going to do this. And there's a black man who's a doctor. I'm doing quotation air marks on YouTube right now, and he's complaining about all these nonprofit women organizations getting money. It just focuses on black girls. It don't focus on the boys. Well, common sense says, let me go find out how much it takes for me to open a nonprofit. I know 5 adults right now here in Austin, Texas, who are just regular everyday people who have nonprofits. I'm not even joking. I know 5 people right off the rip. They have a nonprofit. They went through the process. They paid the money. It's not that complicated. See, the thing of it is we don't want to offer the consistency or the sacrifice. Because once you start a nonprofit, you know what you're on the clock for every year is asking for donations. And you already know how our community is. Oh, what you need that money for? What it for? You want me to give you my hard-earned money? Yes. That's what it will require. Money. Do you have it? Do you have $10 to give? If not, shut up. Sit down and shut up. Well, I have other things to give. What do you have to give? Showing us how your grandma taught you how to cook? It's possible. We could use a cook. You gonna show us how to do something else? What you gonna do? Right? So people saying, well, this and that. I don't want to hear that. Show me people who are doing it, and I'll show you people that will come around them and help. Folks hate the truth. Most black men ain't doing it. I'm not going to listen. I'm going to say black people in general. Okay. In general. The boring black daddy with his favorite chair and a big piece of chicken. Yeah, man. Skilled trades for 2023 for sure. Dr. Claude Anderson has met with local politicians to advocate for black people to pass. Listen, Pascal, I want to put it to you like this. And let me go ahead and show it to you. I'm gonna just show this link for you. Let me just stop. I know y'all gonna be mad at me. I love I have every single book from Claude Anderson. I didn't buy the little resale version on Amazon. I bought them straight from his academy, right? Because that's the difference. The money goes straight there. But let me keep moving. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, here you go. Now listen, I don't want none of the beef Manna Tomorrow and them have, but I just want to use this clip. And tell me if you can hear it. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear it.
They can give money to actual Tia Son Johnson too. You have to recognize that people prey on your ability to want a black only solution. That's the problem here. You want a black only solution. And people are not going to give you a black only solution unless it's fraudulent based. Unless it's fraudulent based, there's no such thing as a black solution. If you cared about, okay, so Tia Son Johnson right now is doing a live stream complaining about a woman's program without building a man's program, without making a case for a man's program. Like, this is what I mean when black men come out here and actually make us look dumb and weak in front of the entire planet for absolutely no reason. There's no reason to have a live stream complaining about a woman's program if you do not or have not made the case for a man's program. Like, see, for all these nonprofit organizations, they have board members. It is very well documented where they get their money from. This is how the system works. But if you don't believe in taking a side, and if you don't believe in making your case, and if you only want to make a case in front of people who don't understand how the process works, you're never going to get results, because the point isn't to get results, it's to stagnate men. This is what people in academia does. They don't solve problems. People in academia do not solve problems. They don't know how to solve problems. The only thing they know how to do is keep the conversation going along BS means. How easy and how specific was that? Did I just explain to you how things work? It was pretty easy and it was pretty simple. Guess what happens when you have a bunch of politically ignorant fucking men who don't understand how the process works, who really don't want to take a side because they understand the political history. Once you start learning about the political history, all this shit you was talking about the left, you're actually going to have to come out and actually answer.
Okay, okay. I didn't want to play too much of that. I know YouTube gets mad when we play stuff. That's why I'd be slowing down. I'd be like, oh, let me get it out of here. But I hope y'all heard that. I hope y'all really took that into a pack. Because again, Man of Tomorrow, out of when we did all the Manosphere part one and part two and all stuff, and I would go on the panels, he had 17 trucks and he had contracts and he had land and he had all these things. And people were like, well, what that got to do with us? Because that you cannot have a moving forward conversation with black men if there is no productivity piece. No matter what y'all want to say, AM1 and Man of Tomorrow were basically almost kicked out the manosphere because they kept saying, men, we have to get skills and use them. AM1 kept saying we have to be able to work and show we have skills that we can use. Again, we're sitting in a society right now, and I told y'all what's about to happen. And there was a great video. I'm scared to play more clips, but I'm gonna play this other clip. And I loved it. I sat there, I posted in the community wall. If y'all don't do nothing, if y'all never watch nothing else I post, it's Malcolm Collins. He has 8 kids. Of course, he is Jewish. And I mean, he literally said a cheap way that we try to fix our population issues is we have immigration. But what once immigrants get here, they don't make babies like they did back home. They go, I can chill in America. I ain't gotta have all these children. Ooh, thank God, birth control. They start slowing down. So immigration is a cheap way to get in manpower, and they have to stay extremely poor. Like a great thing the dude put out. He's Jewish, and he said we have to keep Africa extremely poor in order for everything in the other worlds to work. In order to get all those resources out of Africa, there's a white dude out of Africa, get all these the minerals, the everything you can think of out of Africa. It has to stay extremely poor. And the people have to stay not focusing on progressing. And when he said this, I'm like, see, any other black person, you would call them a conspiracy theory. But here is a doctor who's telling you that. Like, hey, this the only way this works is if we have immigrants come in America to try to shore up our numbers. And even when they get here, they slow down having babies, right? And then he says, you're going to have a crazy amount of voting for about 10 years, and then it'll just drop off because of the generational pool. So again, he even points out many people don't have a cultural thing to tell them to move on. And he says something about Andrew Tate. That's why I'm scared to play the clip, but I'll do it in another video. But he basically says when you have kids and they're watching something goofy, right? They're watching some channel and everybody's goofy and they're dancing. You're as an adult, you're like, oh God, I'm tired of watching this crap. Your kids are loving it. They love it. It's the great Blue Clues. It's the best. And then there's the thing called Blimpie. Blimpie is this silly kids show where the guy's dancing and parents hate it, of course, but it's for kids, right? And kids are like, this is the best. Blimpie's the best. It's just goofy. It's fun. He said if you look at adults, the next level to that is Dan Brazilian and Andrew Tate. Look at them. They get to drive fast cars and sleep with lots of women. That's fun. He's like, it's a teenager's dream. But now Andrew Tate then came out of jail, grew his hair out and grew his beard on, talking about he's Muslim. Dan Brazilian says he's absolutely miserable and he's tired of banging all these women, but he knows he's gone so far sexually, it has ruined his life. And that's clearly what he said. That's what he said. You can go look up the interviews. What happens is when you stay in a child like adolescence, Peter Pan shit for too long, you're miserable. They have all these studies where they're seeing all these people like, I don't have any friends and I'm not happy. And it's like, what's going on? I got money, I got an apartment, but I'm not happy. And it's because we don't have a cultural thing to tell people, hey, it's time. Let that go. Go on to the next stage of what you need to do. And so it plays into this. There's 350 people here. Go ahead and hit the like button. Let me see. Love some Tom Joyner. I'm telling you. That strawberry letter, I mean, the silly stuff. The silly stuff. Goofy sales all day. It blows my mind. And then I just go, you know what? What's the way to make money off these people? What's the money, man? I don't even care anymore. I'm like, what's the way to make money off these people? These people want to be goofy, let them be goofy. I told one of my siblings to get a trade. They look at me like I was stupid. They'll only do it when they get nudged to the end. That's what I think is happening to black people right now. And I'm gonna show you in the video with Todd Capital because we've come to the end of something and it's time to pivot. Right? Mike Road Dirty Jobs and all these people coming out talking about getting trades and tech and stuff. Black people are like dragging their feet across. I guess I'll study. I guess I'll do it. We're the only population that is available for this country to kind of hold it back up. That and immigrants. That's us. It's us. We need about 1 million electrical people. We need 1 million plumbers. We need 1 million, pretty much every trade you can think of. And where can it come from? Right? When the median age of white people is 45 and 20% of all white people are 60 years old, and the median age of Latinos and blacks is 32 and 33. It's got to come from our group. You don't like that information, I apologize, but it's the truth. Right? I grew up listening to them. Now we have Steve Harvey and Rick Smiley. I know, just goofy. And I really, when I sit in the car, I'm like, what type of black person can listen to Ricky Smiley every day? Wow. I don't ever want to get in the same room with them. I'm terrified. I'm terrified of that person. I don't want to be in a room with them. Cruises, college funds, galas, opportunities, and excellence. I mean, if you ever listen to some of the radio now, it sounds like 1990s. It's ridiculous. It's goofy. We need rites of passage. Exactly. Women too. Listen, we got women in their 40s. Listen, and I'm delicate on this because I am approaching these ages. I know women who are 45 talking about they got another year or two when they consider having a baby. I looked at that sister. I said, girl, if you don't shut the hell up, what are you talking about? Honey, that season's about to be gone for you. Like, first of all, we got to get you a man. Then once you get the man, then he going to get you pregnant. Like, whoa, what are you talking about? Are you talking about IVF? You about to go buy a sperm donor? What you about to do? And she got money. But I was just like, baby, like that season of life has gone. That ship has sailed. Let's go on to the next. Unless you're going to adopt a kid, then you're going to start the clock. But if not, what else can you do in your 40s and 50s? It's time to move to the next. And unfortunately for some men, they're like, well, I can wait till I'm 50 and have a kid. We saw how that worked out for some people right here on YouTube. They died. They had diabetes, heart attack, bad health. And now they got a widow that's 28 and a kid they ain't never going to know their father. We've seen that play out. It don't work. It don't work. I know y'all want to believe it. It don't. It just don't. Let it go. Thank you. I appreciate it. People dwelling on the past. Yeah. They be hella depressed. You can't change the past. There's something that what's his name? Ron Peterson. Peterson, the guy that I always talk about in the news. He was saying how his friend was having nightmares every night. And he was 5 years old. This man's 55 years old, but in his dreams, he was 5 years old because he had, child abuse and he couldn't fight back. And he was like, man, that's terrible because in your mind at 5, you really can't do anything. So he goes to therapy. And now in his dreams, he's 15. He's fighting back. And he said, man, my friend's 55 and now he's finally dreaming, having nightmares that he's 15 again, the bad stuff that happened to him. He's like, I'm hoping in a couple years he can get past some of this. Your friend is 55 having nightmares every other night? Baby, like, we need a massive intervention for old boy. Like, he need a whole new reset, new clock. And this is where some of y'all are. Y'all are stuck fighting the wrongs of your childhood because you mad about your mama being a single mom or your dad not being there, but you can't be too mad at her because that's all you got to be mad at. And you can't be mad at him because he ain't even around. I know somebody right now who had to go find their adult dad and they call him every day. This old man just be like, hey, what's up? They are forcing him to have a relationship with them. I know people right now that went to go find their adult daddies. And when they asked their adult daddy, what happened? You just disappeared. Oh man, your mama was tripping, so I just went on about my business. And he's like, yeah, yeah, he didn't even ask for apology. He didn't even ask for apology. And so I'm looking at this person like, you still call this man every day? Oh my God. God bless you. Cause that's crazy. But I know people who are like that, who are reaching out to adult men fathers who never wanted to be a father. They just older now. And since you calling them, I guess they're gonna answer the phone. It's crazy, y'all. There's a lack of growth growing up for a lot of people. For sure. John said, whoever convinced women to walk around in yoga pants, thank you. It's not your fight. Like I hear black men on YouTube talking about the most silly stuff. I'm like, sir, you're married and going on with your life. You need to go choose a new fight to fight. It's like the culture wars. The reason people used to laugh in the 90s um at Republicans and preppy people because they're like, oh, look at you trying to put your values on me. And it was kind of like, no, I'm not. I'm just living over here in my culture and you're choosing to live jacked up. That's not my problem. I'm telling you, for sure. Everybody. Look, Superstar, that show, I watched that. I was like, damn, I need a drink after this. This done depressed the hell out of me. But you got to watch it all the way through because you can see like the true country sacrifice of like, nah, we really gonna put these people out here and they gonna do this. That's why joining the military is so transformative for many men and why I keep saying we have to bring back the draft. Listen, John, in South Korea, that's the one thing the culture has in sync. Like they got all these K-pop stars and people going to college, getting these degrees and hanging out, but they all know they got to give their 2 years. You got to give your 2 years to the military. We talk about it in America. They're like, oh, you don't want them type of soldiers. They're not going to be committed. It ain't about commitment at this point. It's about having a unifying thing that defines America. And if everybody got to go do a little basic training, that's all right. A little boot camp and basic training, you'll have a whole new America. They be like, they ran me. They made me run all day. They made me do push-ups and shower with other people. They made me work out. It was terrible. You already know what would happen. Too many struggles for an Uber driver talking about booty cheeks. I mean, it was crazy. I'm sitting in the back seat like, is he Muslim? Do I need to be respectful? Then I realized this black man won't doing nothing. I mean, he was mad. But again, we keep going to the problem and not the solution. What's the solution for these kids? I mean, I know everybody get mad at Dr. Umar, but the kids are here now. What you want me to do? Kick them off a roof? They here now. It's so refreshing for you not to blame baby boomers for everything 62 and new. Listen, I'm going to try to interview. There's 2 baby boomers who are blowing up on YouTube and they're going to blow up before the end of the summer. And I'm going to try to get him while he's still fresh. And I'm going to get him on the channel. I'm going to talk to him about Social Security and retirement in Florida. I'm going to try. I'm going to see if it get I'm going to see if we can do it, make it happen. Because I really find that baby boomers who are like 62 are just like, baby, where my check at? I don't care about none of this. Where my check at? Right. And I enjoy hearing those perspectives because it's so funny to me. It's like, I don't care about none of this. I ain't looking at grandbabies. I ain't doing none of this. I want my check. And so I want to interview more baby boomers because I find it hilarious. I find it very hilarious. Single parents feel very entitled to your time. You picking their kids up. You should donate money to their cause. You should shut your mouth. If their kid do something bad, well, nobody help me. I mean, it's insane. Yeah, the village need to be quiet till they need some money or some help. It's like, if you don't get your ass out of here. King Randall was 21 when he started school for black boys in Georgia. Exactly. They don't want them kids getting no correction. So then when they get out here and life really correct them, put them in jail. Oh, damn. Like, how dare you? you know. Yeah, I saw that. It was a whole bunch of Instagrammers saying how they were saying they were deadbeat aunties who don't want to babysit kids. Did she have that baby? Then she ain't got to be here with you. She ain't gotta, this ain't her fight, right? When Megan the Stallion made all this money, her half sister, not even her full sister, not the same parents, her half sister from her daddy side. And you know the daddy won't dare. Let's not play the games. She was mad because Megan won't give her more money. Baby, Megan ain't had these kids. Megan out there twerking on stage. What are you talking about? That's how crazy this is. They really think they are entitled to your resources and your time. It's crazy. There you go. Thank you so much. Jeffrey Canada was over the Harlem Charter School. Thank you so much. Dying in their 40s, natural cause. Yeah, man, I be seeing all these. They died in their 40s. They failed. They had a heart attack. Nah, he won't take care of himself. Stop playing with me. Brothers be 25 talking about hopes of making the NBA. If you don't pick up that wrench and make some money. So here's my thing about this. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is a part of our family. My mom was exceptionally amazing at track. She had a kid young. Whoops, my bad. Right. Then my brother was exceptionally well at track. Got in trouble. Couldn't pursue that. My nephew, now that is younger, he is an exact copy of my mom and my brother. And he was going for the Olympics. And we're like, yes, we're going to keep giving money to you. We're going to put you in an apartment. We're going to make sure you get to the Olympics because everybody in this family's got these amazing genetics. Except for me and my sister. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did cross country. I couldn't do fast track. I did it 1 year, and after that, my muscles were like, no. Um, and so our family like pushed in to make sure this kid goes to the Olympics. This kid gets so high up, y'all, and he fails a drug test. It took everything within us not to beat the brakes off this child who was over 25 who could have went to the Olympics. We were like, do you understand what you just did? You are doing every stereotypical black kid thing. You smoking weed, you're hanging out, and you're supposed to be in here focused getting to the Olympics. What are you doing? So I know the burden of talking to somebody who's young enough that they could go play baseball, right? They could go do little league baseball. They're gonna make 30K a year. They just really showing people they in baseball. They could go overseas and play basketball, but then it's not as cool as being in America playing basketball. It's that conundrum of that age where you're looking at somebody 25 and you're like, baby, it's time to move forward. And so that's what ended up happening to my nephew is once he got a girlfriend and they got pregnant, he was like, oh my God, I need to get serious. I'm not gonna make it to the Olympics, am I? I need to get real serious. I'm like, yeah, serious as a heart attack. You need to get serious today. Somebody said end up pregnant and say, not my child. Dang. Thomas Dickerson, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, I did CASA and Big Buddy. After 13 is hard for productive, childless men to get through, and it's thankless mentoring. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I mean, it's 8 years old to about 12. And people act like, why are y'all talking about this so much? Because I've actually witnessed, our family had a massive number of boys. We only had 4 girls, like 20 boys. And our family also had group homes. And we saw women, black women, turn a child over to the government at 8 years old because he wasn't listening to her and he was getting smart mouth with her. My uncle was like, honey, he's only 8. Like let's work with him. Let's get him in some programs. He just being hard headed. You really gonna give your child a foster care because he's hard headed? And what I think a lot of people in our community don't understand is having a baby isn't 18 years. It's the rest of your daggone life. And boys are different from girls. Boys about 8 to 12, I've seen it with all my cousins. It's like the testosterone hits their little bodies. And now they want to try you. It's like, roar, hear me roar. And you're like, what's going on with him? And then that's when the daddy come in and like, I will elbow drop you. Oh, okay, let me get back right. Mama can't say nothing. There's nothing mama can say. Nobody cares what mama got to say. Y'all, I've witnessed this. I've grown up with this, seeing family full of boys and watching our uncles and cousins come in the room and the boy gets straightens back up. Just straightens back. Like, oh, daddy come in here. He about to pop you. Oh, no. Mama coming in there. She's hollering. She's doing all this. It don't matter. 8 to 12 with them boys. I know women don't want to hear this, but if you have a father that's a baby's father that's decent, when you keep hearing people on the internet say, just send your son over there, people get so mad. Don't tell me what to do with my child. If the man you slept with ain't a piece of crap, which hopefully that's not the case, he's not a piece of crap, Send your 12-year-old son to go live with him for the rest of his teenage years. What you could do is done. I'm being really serious. I've watched it. I watch kid in group homes. I watch my brothers. I watch my cousins, and I can see that 8 to 12 years old. If you don't get that ship right, that ship goes off the track. Them boys just testosterone. It's very hard to get a hold of them. So when I see people on TV crying and I did the best I could, I'm like, where your uncles at? Where your cousins at? Where the daddy at? Let's get it together. Let me see here. Right, right, right. Facts. My niece played volleyball and it gave her the ability to have discipline and self determination outside her mother and father. There you go. Yeah, they stay marinating and stupid. Man, let me tell you, there she go. Few men have been taught to be supportive in our Hispanic and Black culture. I'm telling you, like they be like, "You want me to do something?" Let me see what else. Like minds get in the same room. Men come up big when they get married. People always trying to play this game, like, "Oh, the men suffer." It's like, boy, stop. Okay, real talk. The time folks spend complaining be used to be productive and part of the solution. Ezra, the insurance banker, he's actually part of our Wealth Wednesdays. If you guys check out that interview. Rose, listen, Rose, you're 27. This is the perfect time. The divorce rates for people 28 to 32 is at all time lows. It's like less than 9%. First time married. 28 to 32 is when the tide starts to turn on the stupid. Go to your conferences, go on 10times.com, go look up conferences in your area, go look up events, go join Toastmasters. The people that really be getting in the this is when they turn the tide. 26, 27, they already over the goofy party. Even if they live in a party city, they over it. They already going on to the next. Be knowing about Justin LeBoy posts, but not the cities that pay tech. I mean, they know about everything but what they need to. she got him with the booty. She got him. It really did. It looked like Reddit CEO and Serena. It looked like a combination. I was like, what's going on? She got him. Got him. She got him. I mean, he done found a busted something. See, everybody always says it's rare. It's so rare. It's really not. See, this is how I know you haven't traveled enough. This is not rare. Go to any military town. Military towns in the military has the highest interracial dating rates in the world, right? And so what's funny is when people are like, "Oh, Black people get married," I'm like, the data y'all reading is old. The data y'all reading is really from 2015 census, 2010 census. It's not from 2020 census. All those numbers have changed and adjusted. That's right. Moving forward involves changing your own expectations rather than expecting others to change theirs. Facts. These internet people ain't living what they say in real life. Bitter baby mamas and broke cool uncles. Man, I'm telling you, listen, when that kid reached out to me, I said, "Are you serious? Show me what you got, write it up, put it in a resume, and then I'll bring you out to the construction site. Because you ain't about to come tear up my construction site and I'll have to beat your A." For sure, live your life. Yes, Common's in it and it's so good. Let me see what else I got real quick. Let me go. Man, listen. Fair use, fair use. They could prey on the community desire for a savior. Yeah. Why would men want women to build a man's program? Exactly. It don't make sense. Over 1.2 manufacturing jobs will be open by 2030. Over 10 million cybersecurity. Arrested development. Yeah. Let me see. Airline mechanics, diesel mechanics, all that stuff. And that's the problem. How do we inspire people to pursue white collar blue collar? Diamond Dave has something else to give me. Well, I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this right here. And this is what's going. This is probably what's gonna happen. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. Uh, yeah, I think this is it. Let me share my screen. Okay. Share this screen with y'all. If you like the commentary, put a one in the comments. I'm trying to wrap it up faster. It just be these are in-depth topics. This is on Diamond Dave's community wall. And so this says the Goodwill of North Georgia, Work Source Georgia, Atlanta Career Rise. A career in healthcare starts here. Right? All right. So go to the next one. Let Goodwill help you find a good job. Meet your SNAP work requirement and start a career. SNAP works. Let me show y'all the other one. Welding, the training you need. Now, if you don't know about welders, these welders be making 150,000 a year if they're a traveling welder, right? If they hop from site to site, they just trying to stay in one spot, it's not as much. But again, here's welding. Okay, let me go to the next one. Retail, customer service, general employment for those with disabilities. Okay, so somebody with some issues. Now, why am I showing you this? Because it's where they're trying to reach people, right? Again, applicants must have reliable transportation and be able to pass a drug screen. At this point, if you are in Goodwill and SNAP looking for workers, if they just show up, shit, just work with them. And this is an 8-week program designed to give participants a job specific skills based training and an opportunity to earn industry credentials. Let me tell you, I remember when AT&T back in Fayetteville, North Carolina, they would do this 8-week training. So you could be work at the call center and they would get 100 people. They would do 100 at a time. And all these people would get their training. And at the end of the 8 weeks, was it 8 weeks or 6 weeks? I think it was 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks. It was like the end of the month. 6 weeks training, they would cut you to check. Like you got paid training, but you didn't get paid to the end. And guess what would happen when everybody got that check at the end of the 6 weeks? Disappeared. They didn't really want to do it. They were like, oh shit, I ain't really trying to work. So they would have like 20 out of 100 that they could keep. And they did this every other month. And people would be all hyped. I'm gonna go work at AT&T call center, Ericka. I'm like, really? Wow, that's crazy. In Fayetteville, and they would do all these trainings for 100 people deep, and 20 would stay behind. And I'm like, this is crazy. Y'all really don't want to work. And so they're having to just find you when you're in a desperation spot and be like, do you want to get welding? Do you want to do this program? Do you want to be a truck driver? Do you want a job? Right? So they're finding people who are in a crunch. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people going through. They're going to find folks in a crunch. And so I saw him post this today and I just had to share because I was like, that's exactly what it is. You're going to have to find people when they in a crunch. You're going to have to find people when they ready to go. Like they ain't got no other choices. All right. I never even knew what the Breakfast Club was till somebody told me. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I found Breakfast Club from Dame Dash, but then the rest of the time I'm like, y'all listen to this? It's crazy. I didn't take the tech industry seriously until I saw 10-minute interview of somebody 3 years ago. You're so right, Ericka. For real. Thank you so much, Dre Harden. Let me see what else y'all had in here. It's always good to keep in contact with your potential nurse or organ donor. Man, a man in my building died recently. He was only discovered because I called the police because the smell was so bad. Damn. Man, that's terrible. That's real terrible. Yeah, mode one guy. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I would at least have people attend basic training. Man, and tomorrow, I don't know if you saw me, but I used the part of your clip of your talking. So I just wanted a fair use, fair use. I used it. Don't hit me with the copyright strike. I know they be tearing me up. They be like, copyright. I'd be like, I said fair use. I only used it a little bit. But this is something I want to address about when you said something about people being flashy. This is the perfect one. This clip right here is good. Let me play this for y'all.
But I think digital products are dead. At least low ticket digital products. I think if you go high ticket, there's some opportunity there, but I think low ticket is dead. And part of the reason is saturation. We overly saturated the market, which brings in competition for people who aren't as qualified, which then questions the credibility of what's being put out there. And so you have somebody who their only education in a space is the course that they took on that space. And then they like, oh, I got a course now too. And
Mhm.
and so I think that in this market, you really got to do business. If you do real estate, you really got to do real estate. If you do stocks, you really got to do stocks. If you do options, you really got to do options. If you do Turo, you really got to do Turo. That's where you're going to make your money, is in the reality these days, not in the information. Yes, you should still have information, but it's just not what it used to be. And the beauty of that is entrepreneurs go entrepreneur. So if you were an entrepreneur based off digital products, I feel sorry for you. But if you're an entrepreneur who happen to get into digital products, then the world is still available to you. And a lot of the people who were legit and solid are entrepreneurial, despite we're not like just like, oh, digital products is where it's at. Like, we was doing business in 2016, been doing this for 7 years. It just so happened to fall into 2020, 2021. And so what does a true entrepreneur do? They pivot into whatever that true opportunity is. We analyze the market, we see what's out there. It might not be ecom right now. Ecom was overinflated because the world shut down. Now the world's back open, so you got to get back into the world. But if you was really about that life, you was already willing to be in the world in the first place. Rich Dad Poor Dad isn't you build an ecom business. It was you to build a business, period. And so I think that that's where we're at, and that's where we're getting back to. But I mean, even for me, I needed to find that motivation and that drive to do it, and getting into back into an environment where I felt like I was stifled and kind of held down and not being good, giving good opportunities, but then also seeing somebody who owns the business living their best life. It made me kind of circle back and like, all right,
Fair use, fair
I
use.
know what I need to do. And it's both. It's not either or. It's not either job or business. It's not either business or job. It's both, because that consistency, that stability does provide some value, but there's so much time in the day and in the week. And we're doing this on a Sunday, going to do it every Sunday, and to continue to get this content back out there and continue to build that brand. But that motivation doesn't come unless you get into an environment that sucks, which is crazy.
I think as far as the whole, what you said, like digital products are dead, I think yes and no. I think it's more dead for like Black folks, partly because everybody want to call everybody a scammer. Like, even if just off the fact, if you got a course, people making fun of you just because you got a course, and automatically calling you a scammer or degrading you just because you got a course before they even know what it's about or if it's any good or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need to move to like the next step, like step up the production, step up the curriculums, make it more professional and more like seamless, like module to module. It's like the time for shooting in one long 2-hour video straight through, that time is dead. You could do that in 2020, but you can't do that in 23 going into 24. And we gotta consolidate. Like for instance, Todd Capital got like maybe 10, 15 courses, but if you was somebody that just got one or two, you might just want to consolidate with somebody else and like get on somebody else's platform, build a big platform, and put the stuff together, man.
Yep.
And
Yep.
rock it out.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I have for that. I just had to show that because when I completely respect Todd Millie, and we have an old video together, several videos together. But what I want to bring that up is the part where he says you have to really be doing it, right? That when you're really doing it, people want to come work for you. When you're really doing it, people want to intern for you. When you have something to offer people, they want to deal with you. Now, here's the issue. I mean, I laugh about this really because my white counterparts, they have $2,000, $7,000, $8,000 courses, and they keep it moving. Now, here's the difference. Now, if you look at Ryan Stewman and several of these people, they have communities where everybody paid $2K, so we on here weekly meeting. We're meeting once a month. We're doing in-person events, and it's where I told y'all the market was moving. You're not going to sit here and charge people $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000 and you don't literally give them some value, right? This is why I want to have the boat party. I'm going above and beyond on the boat party every year, giving people value. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting. Let's do this. Let's talk. Let's interact with each other. Let's have a classy climb moment, right? And so, as I build this commercial project got coming on, I'll probably do like a classy climb boat party event in the spring, sort of, for this project, so you guys can come out and see it and be a part of it. But really, the people that are doing it, that's who I spend my day talking to. I mean, I'm in a group and there's like 300 people in it, and I literally just went down the list like, how's your project going? What's going on? Da, da. And people are like, yo, man, this look at pictures of my project. This is what I got going on, and this is what my nephews are doing. Like even now for me, my nephew, I introduced him to Kumar Johnson, who has the tire shop. My nephew's like, I want to go work for him for a summer if I ever get a chance. And Kamar's like, man, I can come down here and open up a shop for you and your auntie. Right? There's a million ways that I've connected with other business owners, and you have to really be doing it, and people get behind people who are really doing it. When I was struggling in Detroit, and I still struggle because I'm still selling the last of the projects, people came out of their way like, Ericka, what do you need? You need a photo? You need me to knock on the door? You need me? What you need me to do? I'll go do it. Because why? I was doing something, and I'm trying to close out a thing, right? So people want to help people who are already in motion. And if I could tell anybody that, they're like, well, how can you mentor me? Baby, I'm not talking to nobody for free. Hit that consult line. I'm busy. I got my own stuff. I got my own family, my own projects, my own travel. I'm gonna be on the road for a month. That's part of why I got an intern and some people working for me. I'm gonna be gone on the road most of July and most of September. And so in order for those projects to roll, I need what? People to help. And people don't mind helping when there's something in it, again, for them, an exchange. And so part of Dr. Umar's thing, and I'm not even trying to go too deep into his little conversation because that stuff is all for the internet. That's people who want attention. That's not people who's really trying to do it. And there's nothing wrong with having a speaking business because Les Brown did it for daggone 40, 50 years almost, right? There's nothing wrong with having a speaking business because Brian Tracy did it for 40 years and he still worked a job. And that's something, Robert Kiyosaki tried to talk smack about Brian Tracy, like he always had a job. Okay, that's his business. Okay. Like him speaking is just his business, right? And so a lot of people are going to end up, and this is why I have no problem promoting the tech work, because I know a lot of y'all, you have ideals, you have dreams, but you need a solid floor, because by the time a lot of y'all have decided to have a dream, a business, you need some consistent income to do what? Run your marketing and pay your bills. This is what it is. Ericka, you killing me over here. I ain't trying to. If you hear watching Ericka instead of BET Awards tonight, you've already hit the listen, be careful now. My some of my family watching that tonight. I'm gonna give them a break. No, stop it. Tomorrow I want in the room oohing and ahhing. Honey, our whole family was like, how do we strangle this person and bury their body right here at the Olympics Training Center? Our whole family's like, who will strangle him first? Who will line up to choke and slap this kid first? Honey, our whole family was just devastated. It was really sad. It was real sad. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like our whole family was like, are you wait? Can we retest? Can I give some pee? Who can give some pee? This is crazy. It's a hard thing telling your child to assimilate just to survive. Well, you're not telling them to assimilate. What you are telling your child to do is either get some skills or take the deal, as Diamond Dave says. And honestly, the truth of it is if you're a parent, you should be opening up doors of opportunity for your kid. Y'all can't keep blaming, oh, you tell my kid to act like a white person and stuff. Nah, I'm telling you to put your foot down and take care of your kid. And I mean, not just from 18 years old to their baby and they get food. I'm talking about what's the plan for them. You ain't got no plan. That's what happened to Jimmy Butler. His mom said she didn't want him no more. He ended up going to a white family. And that white family gonna live great forever. He was 13 years old. Have you seen the conspiracy theory about Jimmy Butler being Michael Jordan's son? Boy, that thing had me hollering. Black people, y'all just do too much, but it's hilarious. When the check stopped coming, the woman put the child out. Exactly. The father gets right in the kid's face and let him know this ain't that. It ain't that. Like, stop playing. Said my grandma hit everybody with a broom. Damn. They do. Hispanic men be home, but they be working. You know what I'm saying? Again, part of what Michael Sneed pulled out from Appliance Boot Camp when he was talking on Diamond Dave's show the other day, he was like, some kids robbed him, and then he still worked with them because the town is small. I've been through that area; it ain't that big. A lot of the black people know each other. Now I'm pretty sure when they told some other people they was gonna whoop his A, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like these are the same kids that will come kick your door in. I don't remember if it was Ray Gun 34 or somebody said it, but like in your mind, like if I don't, because the black community is this close, we got everybody got one cousin that's been in jail or something. Everybody got one cousin that's doing something a little bit off, right? Our lines are too close, right? Unfortunately, you may have somebody come back and attack you because you could not figure out a way to deal with the unproductive, right? Most people say just put those kids out there in the projects and who cares what happens to them. Baby, them kids gonna walk around the block and hit you over the head. That's what's gonna happen. Yes, but I also think there's just I can tell, and I'm not trying to be ugly. As a person who grew up with their father in the home, then when my parents took a divorce, not even 2 years later, my stepdad, super military man, disciplined till I went on to college, right? So I always had a father figure or a stepfather at home, and my older brother. And I can tell when I talk to men who didn't have a guy, they're overly emotional, super expressive. Like, you'd be like, brother, chill. Like, why are you so emotional? Like, it's several things I could point out, but I can't explain it well in this video. But you can see it out in public. You'll be, they have no emotional regulator. Their emotional regulator is a little off. Usually men are kind of like flat line, flat line, flat line. But a lot of black men be spiking up. You be like, brother, chill the sissy down. Chill it down. Why are you being so saucy, brother? Take it down. And it's not just that, it's just how they handle themselves in a lot of conditions. It's very obvious. You can see it. You so very obvious. I remember this Asian kid at school was cutting up all the time. And I was looking at him one day. I remember one of the male teachers said, listen, I know your daddy and your mama getting divorced, but this ain't how you gonna act in my class. And he never had a problem with that Asian boy again. And it was a male teacher. I've been lucky to have 8 male teachers. I think, what is it, third, 4th, 7th, 8th? Yeah, 8 male teachers. And it was because I grew up in military towns and they just didn't play. You come to school to learn. You ain't come for a fashion show. They didn't come to play, whether they are white, black, or Latino. They did not play with you. You be quiet in my class. You finish this paperwork and keep it moving. All your problems is your problems. Get out of my classroom. I don't want to hear it. And it's just different. It's so much different. Oh, all kind of combinations. Military people get married. They get married all the time. All the time. Multiple times. Mentoring sons of single mothers is tough when the mother won't allow the man to correct or discipline their child. This is true, and this is why mentorship is hard. This is why I meet adult black people who are 18 to 25, and they almost want you to be their parent. Can you help me do this? Can you pay for this? Can you do like, nah, baby, this is a mentorship. I'm just showing you the way. I'm not here to pay your bills and help you. Like that's what a parent's for. So let me see what else y'all got in here real quick, because we've been going on. They used to provide gas cards. So the excuse can be the gas was high. Man. I've had some male friends die in their 30s this past year. We got to learn the value of our health. Baby, yes. Listen, when I got like, you guys can't see it they're on my feet, but they're liquid vitamin patches. I've got all kind of stuff I be doing. But like literally the lady's like, I'm so proud of you taking all this stuff of your health seriously. And I just think about, well, damn, if I'm doing all this, I'm doing cryo, I'm doing massages, I'm doing saunas, I'm wearing liquid Band-Aids, I'm like liquid vitamins, and then I'm doing all this other stuff. And I can be sore after a workout. I know y'all feeling terrible. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but like, I'm meeting people in their 30s like, oh man, my back, my leg and my back. And I'm like, well, did you stretch? Did you go to a massage? Massage? Who can afford that? I'd be like, it's $50, dude. It's real cheap. Like, it ain't even expensive. It's not like luxury living. You got to take care of this body. This is the only body you got. And so I was at this event and I saw really big people, and I was just like, people be making fun of me saying I'm fat, but I'm like, nah, this chick is over here 400 pounds. Like, I don't even know her knees still working. And so younger black people are going to have more issues that we would see in older black people because of food and health and choices. And I think we get that mindset of, well, we black and we can do whatever. And no, no, baby, you gotta take care of yourself, especially high blood pressure, all that stuff. You were searching for it. It's just type in Marcus Klein. It's really easy. Marcus Klein. Marcus. You know how everybody black spells Marcus. And K as in K, L as in lion, I as in independent, N as in Nancy, and E as in Ericka. Klein. Marcus Klein. Super easy to find. That's why as soon as Diamond Dave said it, I just typed it up. Facts. He really does auctions. I mean, it just really. So again, here, I'm not, again, let's be clear. If you listen to the audio, what he said is low ticket items. People are always going to run ads on digital products. I'm in several groups that are high level masterminds and everybody's running ads. Like it's not even that's a drawn conclusion. It's who you know. But even if you talk to Grant Cardone, he was saying if he could go back over and do it again, he'd have spent $1 million getting his name out the first year. Then whatever he sells after that it's just all easy. But I get it. There you go. The market is dead for all the low quality crap digital products as it should be. However, high digital products and services will all be demand. Yeah, I keep telling y'all, like anything over like with the stuff I've been noticing, $2,000, $5,000, you'll be fine. That's fine. A lot of Instagram YouTubers feeling the burn. And this is the thing about Todd Milley that I just showed. He just made like $20,000 off his trading options. So it's not like he kept showing his wins over time. These are people that are really doing it, and they're telling you need to really be doing it. It's not just a business so you can stun on the gram. Really be doing it. Get some skills or take the deal. This is a Heyday microphone. You can grab it. You can grab it from Target for like $20. It's super cheap. It's great. Steve Harvey did a great job with his boys' summer camp. No, listen, I'm not knocking Steve Harvey and I'm not knocking Ricky Smalley. They do well, but their focal point of their mission is not to be informational. It's to be silly. Everything about their show is to be silly. So they've created a generation of silly people out of Atlanta doing silly stuff to get attention. That's the difference. When you have a Tom Joyner, and I really believe this is orchestrated on purpose, but I'm not going to go there. I'm blaming Gen X because Gen X is the one who got Tom Joyner off. They went to Ricky Smalley and them. That's on them. When you really be talking about a movement of doing something, boy, they really take you off that radio fast. What's that one dude? He used to talk about like movements and different court cases. I'm trying to think of his name. He had the black comedian guy on the show with him. Man, I forgot his name. But when they took him off the air, all of a sudden, when he came back, it's like they took him in the back and said, "You're not gonna talk about no more issues." So when he came back on radio, when he finally like a year or 2 years later, they got him back on radio. He was all silly and talking about polygamy, and he didn't talk about raising money for schools anymore. He was 180 degrees. Michael Baisden, thank you, Michael Baisden. He was like the was it the not Jenna 6, but something that happened with black people got him turned up, and he rallied a bunch of Gen X folks to go down there and check it out, and they would go and they would raise money and they did all this stuff, but all of a sudden Michael Baisden got took off the air. And then all of a sudden when Michael Baisden came back on, it was a 180-degree turn. He was silly. All he kept talking about was being a polygamist and dating women that like women and all this weird stuff, and everybody was like, where did this come from? I couldn't even listen to him anymore. I was like, I don't know who I don't know who took you aside, Michael, and told you don't talk politics no more, but they got to you, baby, and I'm so sorry they got to you. You sound scared on the radio right now. And so that's my whole thing is like, I understand, the accountability and all this stuff is hard to talk about, but it's really, you got to find people that are doing it. Russ Parr he was talking politics and then he got silly too, but it was Michael Baisden. And so it's like, you come out here, the difference is Tom Joyner owns share in his radio station. Tom Joyner made $18 million. You know what I'm saying? Like they were really focused on something. They had ownership. And what's crazy is Michael Bazin and also Russ Parr, they don't got that ownership. Yep, Michael Bazin was talking about Trayvon Martin, and then they had to take him up off that radio. Tom Joyner said they wouldn't give him a raise, so he retired. But that's not true. Tom Joyner also sold shares of his company, and so he got voted out as well. So we can go there too. There you go. Listen, listen. I was trying to be careful, but Michael Bazin talked about Gen 6 and Black entrepreneurship first, and then all of a sudden he gets pulled off the air for like a year and a half, and then he comes back and he's just talking about polygamy and gender war stuff and just being real goofy. And I was like, oh man, they really got to you, bro. Like you saying real crazy stuff right now. So I knew what was up. I knew what was up once I saw that. I already knew. I said, oh, he done. He done. He can't. Yeah, he done. like once the Gen 6 thing happened, they went to the room and talked. Let me tell you what you're not gonna do. What you're not gonna do is rally all these Black people to go really do something, right? Because he wasn't just like, yeah, let's do whatever. He really sent them out there to do something. And when the Gen 6 boys, all one of those Gen 6 boys have done something productive in life, but they were really ready to throw them away. That's Louisiana, bro. I don't know why y'all stay down there. But long the story short, Gen X did listen to the radio. Gen X, 40 to 55, were driving to work every day. Let's not get it twisted. Gen X was driving to them offices and working every day. It's the millennials that weren't working, okay? So let's not get it twisted. Gen X was on listening to the radio. But yeah, it was Michael Bazin. That's what ended up happening to him. But my whole point of this video, and I'll wrap it up here, is you have to take extreme ownership on where your life is and where it's going, right? And where you can move the ball to, right? And we don't have somebody to say, hey, baby, you're talking about stuff from your 20s and you're 40 and 50 years old. Let that go. We don't have that in our community, unfortunately. And we have people encouraging people to like, oh, you 50 years old? So what? Act crazy. Act like a 20-year-old. You can travel the world and do goofy stuff. And it's like, cool. Cool. You're gonna be real miserable from about 50 to 60. And then you're gonna just be hoping you limp to 62 and get your Social Security. I already see a lot of y'all. That's what people gonna do. They're gonna limp till they get to 60, 62. They're gonna pray real hard. Oh Lord. I limp to 62. I can get my check today. I already see it. So since there's nobody who will stand up and say, maybe the Essence Festival is cool, but what else is y'all doing? Is this all we doing? We doing Essence Festivals and concerts forever? We doing jazz fests all over the world forever? We doing goofy stuff forever? There's no, like, if you already determined that you over 45 and you have no kids, that's fine. You don't have to run out and go get no kids, but you need to figure out what productiveness you can add to society. What can you add to society? And they had a video clip where these guys in their 20s were going to get vasectomies. Yeah, we're going to go get vasectomies. These women ain't going to catch us with no kids. Common sense would say, you don't want to wear a condom? See, no one has taken these 20-year-olds that's going to get vasectomies like, you're doing irreversible damage to your body. Yeah, you can reverse it, but it won't ever be the same. And so what's crazy is a lot of these people are doing things that are dangerous because no one has sat down to talk to them and say, hey, that's enough of that. Like, it's time to move forward. And that's unfortunate. That's what a lot is going on right now. It's time to move forward. We had a run 2019, 2021, but now you got to really show people how you're going to do it. If you ain't doing it, they about to catch you out here slipping. Just like Roland Martin 7 on TV1. Then D.L. Hughley. You already know how I feel about D.L. Hughley. You already know. Look, Michael Bazin gave addresses and meeting times. No games. That's what I'm saying. They took that man off that radio. They sat him down like, look. Hey, you got to chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really won't play him. Okay. This is a prime example. I'm going to read it. I don't want to, but I'm going to read it. O'Shea has a new video about a 50-year-old bail man who went to the Philippines for 24-year-old girls and lost all his money taking care of them and their families. We know this happens every day, y'all. This ain't nothing new. When you go to somebody else's culture, they see you coming down the road like, look at this dummy. And that is what it is. It happens. So I'm glad O'Shea addressed it. It happens. But again, this comes from somebody not realizing, hey, I'm 50. Let me make the best of my life right here in America. Let me have a good time. Let me live well, treat myself, my body right. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like if you don't decide to grow up and move forward, life gonna punish you, and that's a punishment. I go somewhere and they take all my money. That's it. Like I don't like that's the punishment, right? Women who choose badly, that's the punishment. That's it. You chose badly. You get punished. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to go and be a tourist everywhere, you get punished. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. That's it. But he don't have to, Kiki. It's Dr. Umar who wants something. See, this is the thing. Even with the young man that's coming to work for me as an internship, he wants something from me. I didn't go looking for him. He went looking for me. Marcus Klein already got multiple schools, 4 of them. Why does he need to go look for him? He don't have to. That's Umar's job to come look for him. And that's where we get it's backwards. Y'all think y'all are entitled to someone's time. And that's where I agree with Dom Dave. You're not entitled to nobody productive's time. You're not. Now we can throw in on it, we can chip on it, maybe $5 here or there, but you're not entitled for me to stop what I'm doing to turn to come bring you along. And I've been that way on here on the Classic Climb. Hey, this is what we doing now. You can do it or you can don't do it. I'm gonna tell you what the results were, but keep it moving. Right? I'm gonna film the building of this project and I'm gonna drop a video once a week on it. Like this is the wrap up of all the clips all week long. Here you go. That's what it looked like. Because at the end of the day, it's like I can't convince you to do more for you than you want to do for yourself. I can't. Nobody can. Nobody can. Trust me, I know people close to Dr. Umar. They literally came with millions of dollars trying to save face for this man. He did not want to save face. He wanted to do it his particular way. He really does. Like, I'm not even being funny. Like, if somebody comes to you and say, hey man, I got $1 million, we're gonna do this, this, and that. He's like, I'm not doing it. He would tell people with checks in their hand, I'm not doing it. You can't talk to somebody like that. They have decided already. They've decided already. So I just know people that were offering free plumbing services, free welding services, free roofing services to him, gonna fly out of the state they live in to go fix his school. And he tried to tell people, oh, black people robbed me and didn't do this. I'm like, man, come on. Come on, man. We already know what time it is. Okay. So he's on a speaking tour. Let him make that money. Let him rack up the dough. I don't even care. Let these little podcasters pay him $10K to show up. I hope he uses the money well. At the end of the day, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something. At the end of the day, y'all, wow, it's been real. It's been real. But anyway, I hope you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classic Line Blog. Hope you got something out of this. I hope it was informative, if nothing else. Good luck out there. Please find somebody locally that you can work with. If you don't know anybody, best thing I can tell you to do is go to United Way. They have a thing called Day of Giving. And it's one of the fastest ways I've ever connected to almost all the business owners and nonprofits in my city. And I just did a 5K with my trainer. He has a nonprofit and it's the Health Evolution. I mean, there's a ton of them. There's just countless ways. There's a thing called 100 Black Men of Austin. If you actually go look it up, it's 100 Black Men of Nashville, 100 Black Men of Florida, 100, all the cities. They have countless men who are actually putting money into the community and doing things. It's just y'all got to pay attention, right? So anyway, listen, that's always true. He didn't marry any of his baby mamas. He ain't getting married. If he didn't do any of them the respect and honor of marrying them, you think he's changed his mind and gonna marry you? Good luck, girl. Good luck. Good luck. Anyways, all right, you guys. This is your girl Ericka from Classic on Blog. You guys have a great night.